Zeka,
Naeem.
welcome to My First Business. I'm going to introduce you to everyone much later, but first, I want to get something out of the way.
Okay.
Is it true
Yes.
that you've been in a movie for 15 seconds?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That was not my first business, but it was like amazing experience, to be very honest, you know.
I heard you had a very big role.
Yes. I pulled out the gun on a guy, you know, like, what a heck.
Did the gun look like a gas station pipe?
No. Real gun.
Real gun?
Real gun. Yeah, because I was in this movie, I was, just guest starring, you know, like at the time. And I was just this 15 seconds, maybe, or whatever. So I'm selling, it was a time back in Serbia when the inflation was big, whatever. So I'm selling smuggled gasoline, you know, from Hungary or Romania, whatever. And you have bottles and put it on the car so everybody knows that you are selling gas. And the prices were crazy, like $10 a liter or something like that. So only tough guys could hold that, you know, like so nobody can steal your gas or whatever. And there were some guys, some punkers, you know, like punk boys, you know, like approaching me, and they wanted to, you know, like steal my gas. And they said, "What do you want?" You know, I didn't shoot. I was just like, you know, but what I like about that scene is, you know, they were obviously skinheads, you know, like bald heads or whatever, you know, and I was like kind of an older guy, you know, been with the mileage, you know, someone, you know, who is doesn't matter, you know, so they come to us. I point the gun at them, they run away, you know, and I said, "Damn hippies." It was when we rehearsed the scene, one of the guys actually said that, you know, and I loved it so much, you know, damn hippies, you know, like,
Oh, man.
yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for reminding me.
You've come a long way from that. So in this conversation, like, okay, the first time I met you maybe was 4 years ago. This is what I remember about you. I was hit in the face, or my body was smacked, not by you physically, but just by the energy that you have and just the positive force that you exude in a room. So I hope the viewers and the listeners can get a little piece of that today. Don't disappoint them, no pressure.
No, no. We started with guns, you know, like they're already.
That's the start.
What this guy?
And we're going to take a lot of U-turns in this conversation. So you've been a bunch of things in your life, but I do want to start because the podcast is called My First Business. You're telling me that your first business and mine were almost the same. What was your first business?
My first true business was actually burning CDs. So we are talking about business, not earning money, like not salaries, yeah?
Yeah, not salaries, no.
So basically it was burning CDs. At the time, I really cannot remember the year, but I think it was 95, 96, something like that. Even maybe 94 something. Yeah.
How old were you?
I don't remember. You see, I don't remember the year. How old am now? You know, I was doing this business with a friend of mine. We say in Serbia, we say kum. Kum is best man, basically witness to a wedding. But in Serbia, kum, you know, we say God on heaven, you know, like and kum on earth. You know, this is how important this title it is. At the time, we were just good friends, whatever. And then let's say it was, for the sake of argument, 1994. Let's say. So fast forward 28 years, you know, today. I am the latest thing that we will definitely talk about. I'm still working with my kum, you know.
Wow.
And we are still developing amazing things, growing together. And Vladimir and I really, even though at some points we were not connected on a daily basis, but you know the conversation when you continue with someone, whatever. So maybe that would be the first thing. For business, start a business with someone you think you can do business with, and always question yourself, is he, because, you know, like if you go out every night, get drunk or whatever you do, you know, and have fun, or you go to tennis matches with someone, you're like playing tennis. That's one thing. But going on a travel is another thing. And business is also another thing. Maybe you are good for traveling together, but you're not good in business and whatnot. And I think it's very important to know, and I'm sure that we will discuss about investments and things, that also goes for the investors.
Yeah.
Don't just chase for money, like pick the investors carefully, and because that's your, like it's some kind of marriage, like this business relation.
Right. So when you jumped from that first business and you went into salaried positions and then you went back into business, I want to talk about that time. What considerations were you having? Were you intentional about setting up, after leaving the salary world, setting up businesses? Why were you doing that? What prompted you? What was your consideration? Did you chase an opportunity? Were you presented with an opportunity? What was your motivation to get back into full-time entrepreneurship?
That's a good question, which I don't have answer to. But the thing is that...
we'll figure out the answer now.
Yes. I'm sure, tell me how it started.
This is the psychology.
Psychiatrist. Shrink.
Yeah, I'm a shrink.
Like it all started in my childhood, and I was crying all the time. And I can
tell me about your father.
I really wonder, it's a good thing when I moved to Dubai and starting some kind of a new life for me almost a decade ago, And I was questioning myself, do I want to work on salary? Because salaries here in Dubai start from, let's say, $2,000-3,000 and goes, I think there is no limit, like let's say mid-management at that time could have $6,000, $7,000, like $8,000, which is mid-management, not the top management,
with
and not
benefits and
then the benefits, and then the housing allowance, school, car, whatever, plane tickets, and so on. So it was tempting, but still I told myself, I crossed 5,000 kilometers from my home, Belgrade, Serbia, to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and I said, I didn't come here to just work to earn money. Yes, I did come because of earning money, but my question was more about would I like the journey of earning money? And I think that's the key thing. Everybody says that, have a goal, but you have to love the journey, whatever. You cannot love the journey when it's so stressing, and because being an entrepreneur is nothing fancy. It's everybody thinks, you're so flexible, you can have vacation, you can work remotely, you can, but the days and the heartbeats that you skip, because of the business and gray hair and everything, I think it takes a toll on the health, and start even from starting a business. I think that should be the primary goal. Keep your health as much as you can, because I say as much as you can because definitely you will lose a lot of health. Of course, when you're working in a company, you have a boss, and which is maybe crazy or whatever, and you will be stressed, or even if the boss is okay, clients or whatever. So I think you should just love the journey, whatever journey you choose.
Yeah. I mean, when I got into business, it was a couple of years ago, and it's easier to think about it now, but you're not thinking about these things in the moment. In the moment, you're going with the flow. But now if I sit and if you ask me why I went into it, and I thought and I sat and meditated on this, and I came up with 3 reasons. Maybe there's more. One was something that you mentioned, but a bit more, lifestyle. So lifestyle includes your health, includes your time, includes who you want to spend your time with and what you want to be doing. There's a lot of things within the lifestyle, which, yes, you get some flexibility, but you pay a price. Second thing was money. Okay, it was not the first, it's not the last. Second thing was money, that the ability to leverage your income or grow your income at a faster pace than you would in a salaried job. You're not waiting for promotions. If you want double your income, take on a project that will make you double your income. The third reason, which is why I don't think I'll be ever able to raise serious investment, is we started this business as a creative expression. So this business is like a piece of art. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I started it, but it's going to be about the journey. It's going to be ups and downs. Maybe it looks like crap. Maybe it sounds really good. It's like a piece of music. When you start jamming, you don't know the tune. You start playing, and a few hours later, you have a tune. So if I go and tell an investor, like, hey, I'm starting my business, it's a creative expression. I don't have a 5-year business plan. I'm going to see where it goes. I plan 90 days at a time. But it's different for different people, I guess. Maybe these reasons will smack me in the face and say, like, no, that's not it. You need to make money. Has your thinking changed over time?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no. Because I think that what you are actually saying about the lifestyle and the flexibility is limitless possibilities, which are good in one way, because even now when I have to be really laser sharp focused on what I do now, more than ever in my life, I still have some ideas that I put to life because I have them, and that's a gift and a curse, So battling and growing all the time, I think that's the thing, and depending on your own work, and efforts and hard work, and so on, and I don't like a comfort zone. My sister, she works in a company, and she is being upgraded, I think, for the third, fourth time in the past few years. She really, love what she does, but her life for me, and even she says, if I ask her what happened in the last year, she said, oh, I went to job, working, If I tell you, if I start now, what happened in my last year, it is so exciting, and it comes with a price, as you said.
Yeah.
So I fully agree with your contemplation on the why entrepreneurship.
You brought up your sister. So tell me about the people in your life at the time you were thinking of starting your business. You already had a family. How did they react? Were they supportive? Were they thinking that, oh, he's on a crazy journey again? Should we stop him? Or they were very trustworthy? What was the reaction?
We grew up in socialism, which is some softer phase of communism, let's say softer system than communism. When I say softer, you have freedom, Yugoslavian passport, when the country I was born in, was the most valuable passport in the world, because we were not on the West, we were not in the East, but we were both, and in that system, everybody is taught, like my mother and father, they were taught everybody is good. Everybody is good, we have a saying, radio ne radio, svirati radio, which means you work, or you don't work, the radio is playing. That means you get a salary. There are no goals, tasks,
You're
pressure.
not striving for anything great.
Yeah. It's and the salaries were amazing. Like in 1987, we had salaries larger than in Germany, let's say, which was not sustainable, but still. And then we had a hell of a war, like in that. But what I said is, this is how I was brought up. My both mother and father worked in the tourism. The father was in early stage a professor of geography and whatnot. But there was no entrepreneurs in the family. This is what I want to say. And then when I start a business, like the business, the first business that you mentioned and that I mentioned is burning CDs. There was not plan. There was no plan. Oh, I think it would be a good idea. Let's do something. Yeah, let's bring the CDs, and at that time CD burners, recorders. They were extremely worn. How they say, touchy and vulnerable. So we couldn't breathe in the room. Like record, go out of the room, just not to shake it because you will crash a CD, whatever.
I remember.
You remember that? Yeah. We had some Pinnacle, which was awful. Recorder. Anyhow. So I didn't have any plans. With me, if I tell you now, hey, let's start a telehealth website, which I am kind of, that's my hobby, whatever. Mm-hmm. I started with at ease. We have friends. I don't want to point fingers, but turn, just, we have friends, who has a process, system in place and everything, planning for months and days, everything has to be, for me, it's just, could be a good idea. Let's go there. So when you ask me how my parents and my close friends or family were about my business, they were like, I don't know whether maybe sometimes they didn't know for the first investment they had, because it was a big investment at the time, especially in Serbia, this CD burner. But usually they don't know about my businesses, and more going into technology. And as my parents are getting older, and my sister has her life and everything, I don't go too deep into the explanation.
Yeah,
I just say maybe some successes and some downfalls, whatever, but I cannot share into the details. So with me, I think everything is easygoing.
Yeah.
Which is not in business, which is not good position to start a business.
Yeah.
Is I think it's somewhere between this friend of mine and me, where you have to be in the middle and, like, I don't know, grab the opportunity, whatever, but still there has to be.
But you have to be true to yourself. Like, you have to figure out where you are. You can't try to be anyone else, right? You can
exactly. You can run away, but you cannot hide. That's you, and that's your personality. Take it or leave it. Right?
For sure. Okay, so we're gonna give people a bit more context about what you're doing today, and then we're gonna go into the topic of pivoting, because I know you're a master of pivoting, over pivoting, reverse.
Did you discuss with him about that?
Nope. Actually, we did. We did. Yeah. And I was a part of some of the pivots. So, okay. So how do you describe what you're up to these days? What are you building?
Well, that's a good question, but it has to be very simple,
Yeah.
So we are basically end-to-end communication assets production company, if it makes sense.
I like the brevity.
And what we are doing, if you are asking me about today's business, or
today, like today you meet someone at a party, they ask you like, hey, what do you do?
It's very simple.
Yeah.
We all realized that in the past 2 years, a lot of people, when it comes to the communication and media, realized how powerful communication and digital communication and digital media can be. And then we have approaches and processes still from the, I wouldn't say 19th, but it is pretty much 19th, 20th century. Like you want to film something, let's film this podcast. How many lights? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 cameras, a recorder, the old approach is, okay, let's have 7 people coming in, set up and whatnot. Here in this studio, you have only 1 person. Why? Because this is making the process more efficient. So what we are doing basically, trying to cater to the growing demand for communication and media assets creation through creating efficient processes to do so. That means we are offering the most effective communication assets, which today is video, let's say. Tomorrow, who knows what will be. But today is video in the most efficient way. So most effective in the most efficient way. And this is basically what we do. Helping, and because we are mostly focused now, today, but it will change in the near future. We are mostly focused on the companies, on enterprises. And as Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, said after 2 months of pandemics, he said that after 2 months, we lived through 2 years of digital transformation because we were forced to. So what happened after 2 years? We did 5 or 10 years of digital transformation. So we help companies digitally transform their communication to cater to growing needs of creating communication assets, and the most effective way to produce them, the most effective assets in the most efficient way.
Perfect. And if I ask you this question 18 months ago, 36 months ago, 72 months ago, the answer would be with the same umbrella, but might be different. So let's talk about pivoting. So just keeping it high level, what do you think drives your pivots? Is it a matter of necessity? Is it a matter of chasing a shiny object, or is it a matter of like a clear opportunity that you need to go towards?
Pure joy.
Okay.
Why pure joy? Because when you're doing something And I always say, because working in the media production, you work with a lot of artists, and artists are amazing for themselves, But you said it at the beginning. You are kind of artist, creating something out of the thin air. But is it useful? And I always say to the artists, you have to be creative, but in a directed way. So if you truly, and I have to just make a digression here.
Yeah.
Isaac Adidges, who is one of the big thinkers of business and business design, he consulted the states, the biggest enterprises in the world, whatever, And he says, from the prehistoric period to steam machine, who was the strongest? He was the leader. When the steam machines exchanged that power, who had the most brain, he was the leader. Now we have computer to exchange our brain power, let's say. So who is the leader? And he says, the one with the heart. What does it mean? Empathy. Like, again, Satya Nadella and his book, Hit Refresh, which when I started collaborating with Microsoft, it was like, something has to be read,
Like a Bible.
I didn't want to say that. Yes. Yeah,
I said it.
Exactly. Like a Bible. Or a good book, like a good book. And he said, it's every page has a word empathy on it. So everything is about empathy, which is a big change for Microsoft after Steve Ballmer. So I think that somehow, going back to my socialist parents, living and born in a socialist world, me too, everybody is good. Like try to find the best in people, whatever. So I think that I got this empathy from them, and I think talking and listening to your clients, and we have. It's not our rule. We learned it, but the best rule of sales, first 3 rules of sales. You know what it is?
You tell me.
Listen, and listen. When you go, if you listen and truly want to understand them, the clients, you will know easily what they need and how they need. So going back to what I do and going back to pivots, which we talked about 10 minutes ago or so.
Yeah.
So going back to pivots. I do pivots, and we do pivots in the company when we feel that there is a need, and that we will definitely help someone with this pivot. And this is a pure joy if you manage to do it, if it is useful, and if it is a success both for client and you.
The way I'm picturing it in my mind, tell me if this is right or wrong, but it's almost as if you're like open to energy. And if you see positive energy coming through a certain way, you explore it. And if it continues to give you positive energy, which you call pure joy,
yes,
you go into it. But let me ask you, when you do decide to pivot and you found that there's joy here, do you go all in, or do you lightly experiment in small amounts, or do you
small amounts? I think I have examples of some my colleagues and friends, who pivoted hardly. Like, okay, we are amazing at this, but there is a new thing. Let's do this, and then we discard this. First, I think that is not good. So I think incremental Kaizen moves, small changes bring to the big change,
Yeah.
So I think it should be done slowly, carefully, and then maybe in the future, when I have 100 million VC fund, and handling the money, I can just go with a flow and try something, whatever. But but now when my business is my bread and butter, and my everything that I build, it has to be small and incremental. Even in the stages, I think I told you this before. Even in the stages where you have to focus on this new thing that is happening. It's very, very hard to say no, but that Steve Jobs says, I started doing business when I first time said no to someone. But it's so hard, because if you're true not only bootstrapping, but any entrepreneur. If you're a true entrepreneur, it's very hard to leave even the smallest success that you have. Like not even mentioning money. Like it's really really hard, and it's something that, but you have to do it. So slowly as you are moving, because you cannot do everything, you just improve. If this client doesn't follow you and you don't have this synergy growing, you have to somehow make it on a, like a break or something like that.
It's like what you said earlier. Is it useful? So you're approaching these things with that constant question. Am I being useful to the client? Am I being useful to myself?
That was my question when I was playing football, because my sports are everything but football, soccer,
Yeah.
Like I played basketball, I played tennis, I played ski, I did triathlons, whatever. But in football, there is I don't know, like when we were small, like 10 or 11 people in the crew, and I was not I was not the worst one, but I was always trying to be useful. Like, no matter, I'm defender, but do I defend good, or I'm a goalkeeper? Do I do a good job there? So I think, but this is a pure joy of being, at the level of the task. That's the thing. And I have to agree with you about the energy, because as a geographist by education,
Really?
Yeah.
You are so many people in one person.
Yeah. So 15 billion years ago, there was a Big Bang. And everything in this cosmos, we are all made of stardust, as they say, everything is final. Like the energy from this Big Bang, it's
still going on.
Is one. It's one.
Yeah.
So energy just shifts, So you just have to sense it and follow it. What all the religions are saying: do good and hope for good. Is it? Like everybody wants to be a good, like everybody normal wants to be a good person, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Last question about pivot, and then we're going to move to move to team building, which is always a fun topic. But okay, have you ever done a reverse pivot? Where you've gone and then you've scrapped it and come back? How does it feel?
It just feels like another pivot, because you are not returning back. Okay, I have it back in back of my mind. What if I have to get back to the beginning? But if I took some pivot and it didn't work out, going back to this means that this is still better. So you're again going for a better thing. Like it's not easy, but I think all the entrepreneurs should be open.
Forward.
Yeah.
It's still moving forward.
Still moving forward.
Because, like as you said, Steve Jobs, when he says no, is when he started doing business. So saying no to your own pivot, which your own decision was, it's probably moving you forward.
Exactly. No. I don't. Like I was on a conference. I was on a panel on a conference like last summer, and this conference was about unsuccess. And there were some really, really like successful people in business, in media, celebrities and whatnot, and everybody were talking about failures, about the thing they didn't succeed in. And if they lost $1 million in their business, and as some of them were saying, my 10,000 hurts more than their $1 million, because it's mine. And everybody thinks, it's a shame to fail, but it's not. It means that you tried, So and you learn something, of course. If you made the same mistake, if you make the same mistake again, then you're stupid, and then you shouldn't be doing that or whatever. So I think we should all embrace that fail is the part of the growth, and the minor or major setbacks make you the person you want to become. Because if you let that the unsuccess define you, then you were not made for success. Imagine this Dubai where we are living in. I'm sure that there were some projects which didn't succeed, and we know the World Island or Jebel Ali Palm or whatever, that's the most visible, whatever. Those companies still exist. Those companies still work. Those companies still push forward. And Dubai in total is one hidden gem to live in the world. So let's look at from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, so I look at it in three ways for failures, right? There's if you look at the spectrum, you can either be fragile. So like this glass, if I give it some volatility, throw it down, it might break. Then there's robustness, which is like very protected. It doesn't need to be labeled fragile. This box that you're delivering, it's fine. It can do. The third layer is anti-fragility, which is the more you try to harm it, the stronger it becomes. It's like the story of the Hydra. You cut off one arm, it grows two more. And our bodies are like this, right? A repeated stress on our body, you've done sports in the past, you know that it makes you stronger.
Yes.
So we're always looking for these failures that are going to make us stronger. Things that we tried that were outside our comfort zone, as you said. Even though it's not my natural tendency to go outside my comfort zone in everything, I do go in certain areas. But the condition is that anti-fragility must be there. I will take some harm, but for the benefit of being stronger later.
I would just put it in the simplest possible way. It happens.
Yeah.
So
what happens? What's it?
It. There were two asterisks before three. So it happens. Okay, I tried. But imagine the how do you say? I'm missing a word. Like when you're older and you are feeling unfulfilled because you didn't try. You know.
Regret.
Yeah, that was the word. Thank you. You were always helping me with English. Thank you for.
I'm still here. Yeah. Call me.
So regret. I cannot believe. Like maybe I'm pushing too hard. And I have some of my advisors saying me that like you're sometimes without boundaries when you want to do and try something. At all costs, but still, I think that imagine like all life. Like I have a friend here in Dubai, works in amazing company. He's amazing engineer, whatever, amazing salary. He put his whole family through school, like kids and apartments in Dubai, whatever. And he told me, like, I hate my job. Like, imagine that. I hate my job, and I do it only because it's easy for me. Like it's like I'm whatever.
I'm good at it.
Yeah, good at it. Yeah. That's it. And but I hate it. And then he found some hobby, which made his life more colorful and whatnot. And he's dedicated to his hobby even now. I stopped it. Anyhow, so I wouldn't want to be him. Imagine waking up every morning and saying, I hate Mondays, thank God it's Friday or whatever, like I cannot believe that, like I really try to respect my family and spending time with them and whatnot, but I cannot wait for Monday to start working because weekends are for family, and I'm doing my best to keep it that way. But I cannot wait Monday because so many good things are happening all the time. Like you're always on top and you are choosing what you want to do, even if you're good at something and earning money, whatever. If you don't like it, like you just pivot to something maybe less lucrative, but still you can enjoy it and so on.
I was trying
hedonism all around.
I've been trying to take a vacation for a year and a half now, and what I've done is this coming Monday and Tuesday, I've told my business partner and wife that I will not be available. You know how long I've been trying to take 2 days off? The last 3 months. I've been telling myself every week, take Monday and Tuesday off, make it a long weekend. But there is so much that I want to do that I don't take it off. It doesn't happen, but I'm going to try this Monday and Tuesday.
But I think you should do it because you will be amazed about the efficiency when you come back from that 2 days of not working. You think you are efficient, but when you relax, when you don't think about it, imagine boxing is very demanding when it comes to the physical strength, Imagine boxing for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I like it, I love it, 20 minutes, but you are dying and your punches, even Mike Tyson after 30 minutes, maybe I would survive his punch after 30 minutes, But if he takes a break for a minute, then don't be in the ring.
Yeah.
So I think that if you take those minute or 2 days, anyhow, that you will be again the Mike Tyson with the strongest punch. This is why I think you should have breaks.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know how do you sleep, but I think it's very important to have 8 hours. 8 hours.
At least 8 hours.
At least.
Or
at least.
9, 10 some days.
Yes.
That's one reason why I got into business too. I hate compromising on my sleep. I get cranky. I wasn't like this when I was 22, but like the older I get, it's like I need to recover.
I don't remember how I was when in 22, but I think the health and strength comes from there.
Okay. Let's pivot our conversation to
out of the pivot
to team building. So you have experience building remote teams, on the ground teams. What have been your learnings for yourself in terms of getting everyone to, being an orchestrator and making sure everyone is working together, motivating them? Is it about finding good people? Is it about coaching? What's your philosophy on
Can I do one
building?
ad? Can I do one ad in the camera?
Sure.
If anybody figured this out, please let me know. Please, let's just put the comment in below, and I will definitely contact you. So this is this is the thing, and my take now after serious 20 years in serious entrepreneurship, let's say, is that it is ongoing process. And you never know. I don't know how HR didn't evolve that much, and so you can, when you see the cover letter, CV or LinkedIn profile, you can, and one conversation, it doesn't give you any clue. So I would agree with Gary Vee, hire fast, fire fast. So I think that's the only thing, but being a bit emotional that I am, it's very hard to fire people, but still you have to do it. And it comes, you part ways. You simply, when somebody is not on your wavelength, it won't happen. But it's extremely hard to find people. And before I was so exclusive, meaning first thing that you don't go do good, fire. What Now I realize that there is not that much manpower in the world if I keep doing this. So you have to be flexible. You have to keep repeating things. Like I literally compare it with the kids. Don't go there, you will fall. Don't go there, you will fall. Don't go there, you will fall. Poof, falls. And then he doesn't or she doesn't do it anymore. So I think it's a matter of mutual understanding, and it's a matter of not coaching but being open to be coached, because it's not the same if you're working in my media company on someone else's media company. He has or she has a different approach to it. I am the one setting the culture in my company, and I think that's good. I think that's a good culture. If you don't like it, better not be there. I don't like too many pivots, or I don't like this or that. But I really tried first of all to coach myself towards coaching people or towards communicating with people. And sometimes I know that I'm harsh, like when it comes to the communication, not insulting or anything, or whatever, but very strict. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I don't have pace. You should be very careful and discuss it, and by all means,
I was discussing that point with Alina yesterday, and I was watching her because she manages most of our people in terms of daily tasks, and I feel like entrepreneurs that I've known, you, our friend there, are really high energy people, in the sense that they are constantly working towards the usefulness of their business. And if employees don't match that level of energy, then it feels like you're dragging people with you. And we also had a chat. So book, maybe you remember, but this was something that Gary Vee has also said. How can you expect your people to put in the same effort as you? It's your damn business.
Of course.
Are you
Don't expect that.
right? Like that's how have you learned to deal with that? Did you know that from the start when you were running your full businesses?
No. My first thing is when I came here in Dubai, I'll do my business and I will not hire everyone, and I think I can do good, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of a freelancer, but with some people, but it didn't happen because that's who I am. You cannot run away from yourself. And first I thought, as an entrepreneur, I just need to find someone like me and just bring him on and let's her on, and then let's work together, whatever. But it doesn't happen because, as explained by Vladimir, my consultant, in business for a long time, he said, as an entrepreneur, you have 8 hats or 10 hats, starting from administration, legal, finance,
operations,
sales, not to mention delivery and everything that you do, So you have 8 hats. My take on it, you have to find a person for each and every of that hats. And when you have money, delegate everything that you find boring or you don't want to do. Just do things that you like. This is the only way to pass your energy, as you say. And I really think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, we were reading this book early on into our business journey. It's called The E-Myth Revisited. Have you read it?
Of course, yeah.
That was like a slap in our face because we were literally trying to do everything without a process, and it was hard to judge people on what standards do you judge them. How much productivity can you expect? But at the end of the day, it's the emotional part of humans. We went through the Industrial Revolution. You talked about the steam engine and everything.
Yeah.
We've been trying to remove humans from the workforce for a long time. And today we're doing it through AI and bots and chats. You cannot remove humans from the workforce. And,
of course.
And the variability that comes from the, this big bang when it started till now it's going on because people are so...
Even being people
variable.
is a variability.
It is. Well, yourself, you're always changing on a mini scale yourself, and people are changing too. I want to talk about account managers for a little bit, for 3 minutes or so. Yeah. Just because to everything if I'm a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So that's been one of my roles that I've done the most. Yeah. And I feel like for us, that role in our company is super, super important because, it's where the money stays. Biz dev is where the money comes in, but account management is where the money stays, regardless of your technical abilities. How do you find good account managers? How do you rate them in your head when you're going through the CVs or you're interviewing them? And what are the little things that you're looking for someone who will make a great account manager?
I look only for one simple thing. I look for a nice person, which is open to understand and apply the culture of our company. Full stop. So
how do you judge that? A nice person?
Yeah, in a conversation, I can tell you're a nice person. We are talking for half an hour, just through conversation, that. That's it. And I hired my now second in command in the company, and she was a client relationship manager or account manager, as we call it. And we call it client relationship manager because everything is a relation, and so on. I hired her on the spot when we first met. I saw few when you're passionate a little bit and emotional, and you find blurry eyes, not crying, but you want to explain something and you're excited about something. And I didn't make a mistake here, I didn't make a mistake back also in Singapore or so on. So I really, really think that it is important, even though there are some accounts or client relationship manager, as we call them, that even I wasn't there, but people who work and which I pass the culture of the company to, found somehow, like people who are, like that. Maybe in some other sectors like video production or, like project management or so, which is not client facing, it's not the first thing. But I really, really always say to our HR and so on, let's have a normal people around and let's work with the normal people. That's the thing.
Yeah. I try to look at myself and pick out all my bad habits, and I look for them. Like, no one should have the habits that I did, right? Like I had a sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I had a problem with authority. I'm a very bad employee. He can tell you that too.
Oh, he didn't complain.
But I realized that unless someone has been in authority, they're always like angry at the authority or like weird about authority.
Yeah.
But once you become the authority yourself, you're like, oh, that makes sense. That makes
now
sense.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, it's I think that don't look for a perfect person. There is not. Even you are not. Sorry to break this to you, but even you as an entrepreneur, that doesn't mean that you are a perfect person. So the more you are flexible, the easier you will find. But then like how it will work out. And I always say, I really stick to this one. Like hire fast, fire fast. You don't have time for this in 21st century. You don't have time for. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. Like as Anna would put it.
Nobody got time for
I watched it. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the invisible members of your team. Okay, so you are running the business solo, but it's not really always solo. Do you have mentors, influences, partners that you take advice from? You mentioned advisor before.
Yeah.
How are those relationships in your life, and how do they impact your business?
I think that you shouldn't start a business without a consultant. And each and every consultant works up to the point, like up to the number of pivots or number of scale that it works for you or works for company. So I'm very lucky, and I was very lucky to have my let's say first consultant. Even when I was in media, like hosting on radio or TV shows, I had my coaches all through like 20 years of, someone will say, okay, first 2 years and then you can do it yourself. No, you have to find someone who will keep you in a good direction, So the same goes for business. Business is always changing. And then if I am geographist with some experience in video production or audio production before, like how can I run a business if I don't learn something new? So read a book, follow people on social media, watch courses on Udemy, LinkedIn, whatever, and like just or like this, talk and learn from each other, definitely. And I think that's the most important. So I'm always in search for a good consultant, and right now I just started with a new consultant. It doesn't matter. It can be 1 or 2 or 3, like and so on. So I think it's very, very, very important to have someone to keep you on a good track, and to someone, because if you have someone on a salary, and he is kind of managing your company, he will not be 100% open and honest. Maybe sometimes he wants to cover some things. Maybe sometimes he cannot tell you something in your face or whatever. But you have to keep it real, and by having an advisor who can tell you, hey, Naeem, don't do that, or I would do it like this or that. So I think it's very, very important.
How do you manage to get these consultants to have skin in the game? Because that is one thing how do you make sure that they are aligned with your business success or growth? If that is a condition for them.
There is no condition. That's not a condition, and I really think that it shouldn't be a condition. Mm-hmm. Because when they have the skin in the game, they will tell you, they will not be objective. you know. I think it should be paper use, you know, like, okay, my hour is this much, and you just pay, and that's it, you know.
Interesting.
Because if the advisory board is something else, that they are directing the business, but not you, you know, like. But for your consultants, I think they should be open and objective, and you just I have to plug in the consultancy that I'm exploring, or we are almost doing some business. It's called Fourthly, fourthly.com or fourthly.io, I'm not sure, but they are like fourth industrial revolution advisory, and you know, like, it's never fair if you give someone equity, let's say like 5% or 3% or 1%. You know, it never never succeeds, because you failed, or he's, you know, like, if you become a deca unicorn, like 10 billions, and he has 1%, and it's like $100 million just for what, you know, like, cannot be that much, you know. Mm-hmm. Or if you do not succeed, he's not paid properly, you know, whatever. So I don't think there is there shouldn't definitely be, my opinion up until now. Maybe I'll change next time you interview me. Maybe I'll change it.
That's a shift in mind for me, because I've not thought about it like you've mentioned it right now. I always, for some reason, thought about skin and game, that I don't want to take advice or opinions of people that are not going to suffer the consequences of the advice or the thing that they give.
But it's very simple, you know, like you don't go to dentists, and he said, okay, I'll take out one of your tooth and one of mine, just for me to know how it's taught in the school, and in his experience in dentistry, you know, like, this is in business. Everybody thinks that they're unique, but basically we all have the same problems, you know, like. Yeah. Once I was on purpose went through the funnel of Tony Robbins, you know, and I was, you know, like, questions, and then at the end you get a half an hour advisory with someone, so he can invite you to his conference or whatever the funnel is, you know. So I just wanted to feel it, and it was like maybe 6-7 years ago, if not more, you know. And I was going, and then I had an advisory session with this guy. This guy, like, he told me, tell me about your business, and I said this, you know, like maybe 5 minutes, and that's it. And then in 25 minutes, he told me everything I need to do, which I still know I have to do, you know, whatever. This is the beauty of being human, learning, you know, like, that's the beauty of improving and so on. You don't have to go through it, because he read some books, and he has his own experience, and he knows how to pass it to you and how to verbalize it at the end, you know. And then you say, okay, amazing, yeah, you're right, I will go to the conference. I didn't go to the conference, of course, but I just wanted to see how it works throughout the funnel, you know.
Yeah, my third guest on this podcast was actually a consultant that I started following on LinkedIn, and I engaged with his email newsletter, and we went out for what we wanted to do was like a 1 hour lunch. We sat for 3 hours to talk.
Yeah.
In that 3 hours, he gave me so many nuggets of stuff that I'm still like implementing till today.
You will be in the years to come.
Yeah. And like, he was pretty straightforward and said, like, you can't afford me right now, but like, let's have a chat. So I borrowed him for the podcast, got some more juice out of him. Now I'm getting some more consulting done with you as well.
No, with everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm learning from my sister, my wife, my kids even, you know, like, oh yeah, you're doing. How can I implement it? Because at my early days of work on the radio, when I started, we all stole the instrumentals, you know, like, you cannot still take the instrumental from but at that days the IP rights were not that strong and implemented, especially in Serbia and Yugoslavia. Anyhow, so we stole that. So I always listened to the Dutch radio stations, and I copied them. But I didn't copy them one-on-one. I copied them with a little bit of thinking, why did they do this transition to this? And now I will put this sound, which is like this sound, you know, like, so this meaningful copying, I think, brought me where I am now or wherever I am now, like, because when something happens, how this reflected to my business, like, can I implement that or so yeah, I think you learn from everywhere, but I just of to curiosity, how expensive was this guy?
I didn't ask for his rates, but in his conversation, he basically said, here are these 10 books, read them, and we'll talk later. Basically, he told me, like, you're at a stage where you need to consult yourself. At a certain stage, you can bring on someone like me. But I can make an introduction.
No. I'm just curious because that would be good, of course. Because the most expensive that I heard for now is $1,000 per hour. That's too much. No, I cannot afford it really.
You can start a podcast and bring smart people on.
Yes, this is what I have my own podcast, the Change Officer.
Yeah, we should put the mug here to let people know. You can totally sell that. Yeah. Talking about pricing of consultant, let's go to pricing about where you and I are in the service business.
Yeah.
Part of what we charge for is intellectual value. Yeah. And the other part is the operational stuff.
You can never charge that, but okay.
What have you figured out about pricing over the years? How did you start thinking about it? What to pitch? How do you maneuver it? Where are you today with pricing? What's your philosophy on pricing your services?
Service is always priced at the cost which value you bring to your client. That's for sure. And I think that as you are in digital marketing and advertising business, am I right?
Yes.
I put it right. I am telling you, as a potential client, I'll start with $1,000. And I have a return on investment in 2 or 3 months, so I'm ready to waste like maybe 2-3 months, like invest in the business. But after 3 months, if I get a return, I will just keep investing in you. Like not your business, your knowledge, whatever it is. But my experience says that brains or your experience or your knowledge or whatever just helps you get the business. But at the end, like everybody would say, like, oh yeah, you brought one camera. I have a friend. He has a camera. He would do it for free. Okay, do it with your friend. You cannot do it. So you have to have some kind of distinction of what you do and how you do it. Like when I say IP rights, I don't mean like patent everything that you do, because you cannot, or it's too expensive or not feasible. But in today's world, IP rights, as one of other my consultants says, is how quickly you innovate, how can somebody copy you easily or not easily, and if you push forward, this is your IP. And I think having an IP is very interesting thing, because when you are in a service business, it's always non-scalable. Yep. You have this much direct expenses, you have this much overhead, and this much your profit, and that's it. But I'll just tell you a story. When I had a company back in Serbia, we did a show where 12 couples are building one house. At the end, one couple gets the house, dream house, obviously. This was the name of the show. So we negotiated with the TV station. So we had right to have a product placement and brand placement within the show. So we didn't want to make it, like people with hats or T-shirts or whatever. No, we just wanted to make it really work within the story of that show. We found 27 different sponsors, and all of them were more than happy to continue collaboration, and we continued the collaboration with them, with some of them after the show. That means they gave money, they get some value from there, and we were lucky. But the good thing is, when you have an IP like we had for this show, is you can sell it, and then you can resell 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 it. What does it mean? So once we covered the expenses of the show, or with a profit or whatever, so that was, someone would say, in the service business, that's it. Like you covered direct overhead and profit, and that's it.
Yeah.
In service business, there is no more. You cannot resell it again, whatever. But in IP business, which is beautiful, like this podcast you have, you can sell the water we are drinking. You can have the bottle of water here, like you can sell the laptop you are having in your, you can sell the brand of this earphones, microphones, you can even sell the brand of your clothes or whatever. So the makeup you're using or whatever, so you can resell. And this is the difference between service business and IP.
Right.
So in service business, you just charge up to the point and that's it.
What about specifically for retainers? How do you think about pricing your retainers?
If you don't have a retainer, don't do the business.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I learned from I think one of the first lessons of my consultant, Vladimir, he was like, at that time I had a business of doing videos for companies. So they need something, I deliver. They need something, I deliver. But, like how many videos do companies need at the time, whatever. So I need, and maybe throughout the years, and it took me, I think, 3 or 4 years to create kind of a product that is subscription based. So even Microsoft, like before, you were buying Microsoft Office, you were buying Windows one at a time, and you then have upgrades or whatever, for free and so on. But then when Satya Nadella came to power, third time I'm mentioning this guy, I'll meet him soon,
Are you a fan? I can't tell.
Everybody is a fan. Everybody is a fan because the stock of Microsoft grew more than 3 to 4 times since he came on. And one of the things that he did is subscription. And this subscription took some time because when you sell something and when you subscribe for several years, that means that your income in this first year, that when you cross from selling a product and subscription to it, first few years, like first 4 or 5 years, will be very difficult, and it was for Microsoft. But imagine now they have subscribers, and one of the biggest units, basically in Microsoft, are so-called CSU units or customer success units, who are not sales. They are just taking care that if you bought some product, you're using it. That's you're
getting the full value from it.
Yes. Like you have a full office suite, and you're using 3, maybe Word and Excel and Power BI or whatever, and then you say, oh no, why don't you use Teams more or whatever program more, software more. So yeah, that's what they do, and they take care of it because they empathize with their clients, and this is what is their culture of the company.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're limited on time.
So sorry for that.
That's okay. We have 13 minutes, so
okay.
I'm going to have
How many questions?
Oh, man, I can talk to you for another 2 hours. You were worried. You were worried how I can fill these 2 hours. We can go. You can see now. But let's do...
I have this verbal disease. I don't know how they call it.
I do too. So, plus, I love the sound of my own voice. So if I keep,
Barry White. Yeah. So these mics,
sure,
were my dream to have.
Yeah.
If someone is watching this in US or New York area or whatever, there was a famous station Z100, and they started in 80s, something like that, and they were the revolutionary radio station Z100, and they had these mics. So since then, I'm dreaming of using these mics to listen to my voice.
Lovely.
Let's
talk about something that is we touched upon earlier, but learning. We talked about learning from failures, but this time I want to talk about learning from challenges. So I want to get 3 short stories from you because of our limited time, but we can expand on round 2.
Yeah.
We talk about tests and challenges. One in the past that you have successfully overcome.
Yeah.
One that you're facing right now, today, and you're, working through it, and one that you're predicting in the future that a problem is going to come and you're preparing for it today. Maybe we can start with one. What have you, a problem that you solved in the past before? What was that challenge that you remember? What comes to mind?
Can I answer to all of these 3? together,
Yeah.
because I think that one of the biggest problem, of course, is for your to survive a plane crash. And whatever you do, and there was one really successful evacuation of the plane on the Dubai airport a few years back, and they need to do it in 2 minutes. They did it in 1.5 minutes. The main thing at that point is to stay calm, to react calmly. How do you achieve this? By training your staff, when they say brace for, they are ordering you there, and so on and so on. So there are things. Another story. So keep calm. That's one thing. The second story is about Spartans. I was at some point of my life, I was really amazed with this culture and this state of Sparta in all Greece, and one of the things because they were the best warriors the world ever had, and how the story of 300, like the Thermopylae or Firegate, how they call it in English, Thermopylae. So when the 300 of Spartans fought thousands and thousands of Persians, whatever. And of course, it was for the movie. It was storytelling is changed, dramatized, whatever. Yeah. But it was not about where they took their strength from. They took it from the years and years of preparation for the battle. So even from the early days, which was very brutal, at that time, even they were selective. If child was born with some problem, they threw it off the cliff, which was awful, and very strict. It was a military state, Anyhow, after that, they were trained. What they were trained about? To keep calm, like in the battle. If I lose because each of them was guarding the next one with his shield, not himself, but the next one, so he can go with a sword or with a spear, And what happens when you lose the next guy? You only think how to keep the gap closed, So beside all other things, they were keeping their focus and their calm, So, and the third story is about me having a problem last week with the client that said and come, we have to change this something about our subscription because this and that. And then at that time, I was like, oh my God, how will I survive this? This is really, important for me. What will happen? How it will happen? Not a week later. So it happened on Friday. Today is Thursday, but let's say yesterday I had this kind of solution. I came up with 3 solutions in 3 days, basically. Like Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I came up with 3 solutions how we can overcome this, not alone, with the team and some advisors, how we can overcome this, and now it looks like it will be an advantage to us. And again, Isak Adegis and his institute for business consulting and so on. So I can say that he's kind of one of my consultants. They call it an oppo-threat. Opportunity and a threat at the same time. It can be a threat opportunity or opportunity threat. So we had a threat and we made it an opportunity. I'll tell you literally one more story. It happened 2 weeks back. I was called by a company and said, you're using our photos on your PowerPoint slide, the PowerPoint deck, which is not yours, it's ours. You cannot use it, And this is the company I'm collaborating for years now, And I thought, okay, I'm presenting something that we do together, no, you cannot. Of course that you cannot if you don't ask, and if you don't get a permission, and so on. and said, remove it from your website, remove it from your PowerPoint. And I said, okay, no problem. It happened in a day, like we changed it. And then that was a threat. Like, okay, she could escalate that and so on and so on. But instead of just removing it and saying, oh, this is it, we did it, whatever, I just said, hey, can we meet, because she's very high positioned in that company, global company. And I said, yeah, we did this, what you asked, but it would be good to meet because the things that you just asked us to remove, this is what we do and you do. And it turns out she's the head of that department. And when she heard what we do and how we collaborate, she was like, oh my God, we need to collaborate more and so on and so on. So it was a threat, which turned out to be an opportunity.
Well, that's the word that I mentioned earlier. Anti-fragile is exactly that, right? Someone strikes you, but you actually make that a beautiful, stronger thing.
You're contemplating a lot and thinking a lot. Just one thought is always on my mind. The moment something strikes you is the lowest point of that thing. Like when we heard, we have some issues with this program or project. It was the lowest point. Up from there, if you are reasonably thinking or whatnot, it can only just get better, and it can only even a small better, smaller better, smaller better. So just stop, be calm, like Spartan, and just think rationally, and the ideas will flow.
Just in that conversation, you've covered a few things I was going to talk about, which is
7 questions. That's it. Thank you very much.
I have a whole section that's called "What I Love About You," and I do that with every guest. For you, the first thing I mentioned was your energy, and I'll talk about your energy a bit differently. It's your stamina. So I've seen you discuss and brainstorm ideas. Your voice starts here, then it goes here. You're very open to engaging with new ideas and testing out the theory using words and talking about it with a lot more stamina than I've seen other people do it. Other people get new ideas and they're like, okay, maybe I'll think about it. You go deep. I really love that about you, that you try to go deep.
Maybe it's being open to believe in something,
or even challenge it. I think you challenge it.
Exactly. I try to watch it from different perspectives, and I think that's the thing everyone should do. And I get passionate, which is sometimes good, sometimes not that good, but I get passionate about the things, even though as we discussed, this year marks 30 years of my engagement in media. But still I'm so passionate about the things that I do. I cannot really wait to fulfill them and to see how they will be created out of the thin air of thoughts, of ideas, and I had these amazing ideas, and then somebody appears, can we use this idea for this? Of course we can. And then it solidifies in front of your eyes. It's like a newborn child, like something that, you have an idea what to draw, picture or draw, paint, and then you have an amazing painting, and whatnot.
It is all a creative expression, really.
Yes, it is.
Zeljka, I'm very mindful of time. I need to get you here again at some point.
We should continue, yeah. Keep the questions.
I have. All of it is there. We didn't even talk about Gary Vee. Come on,
I have to send you. Okay, let's do this. I'll send you one 9-minute video that I have. Explaining Gary Vee and me.
I've watched it. You sent it to me.
I sent it to you
when you had COVID. Yeah. Sent it to me.
Okay.
But I'll link it to the show notes and everyone can watch. But I would love to talk about that in more detail. And there's still more advice that I need from you. A lot of it was answered, being about being creative or being useful. I'm taking that with me. And staying calm through the challenge and looking for the oppo-threats.
Oppo-threats.
But this can be endless. Is there anything else that you want to cover in the next 2 minutes that I have? Anything you want to plug or bring attention to?
I just want to thank you because I really like talking to you all the time. I'm also, as you know, learning from you. I ask you for the opinion so many times about something, about new projects, about the wording, because I find something that is something that I can take away from you. So thank you very much for your time and idea to invite me. And you know what? I think that everyone likes to make themselves appear clever, like I'm in front of the cameras, I'm talking to this mic, like I know things, I know it, like not to mention, So thank you very much. I feel really amazing talking, and let's not keep it a long track. Sorry for this hard stop, but let's keep it very soon. Let's finish this conversation very soon.
Yeah,
like in time, so you can play it in months to come.
Yeah.
The beauty of pre-recorded media.
I know, I love it. I hope this was therapeutic for you. Made you think about a few things.
Yes.
Anyways.
Especially about contemplating and visualizing. I think that this is something that you do really good.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. Let's see. I have a long way to go to get to where you are.
Oh, come on.
Okay, man.
No, that doesn't have to be long as mine was. Keep it shorter.
Before white hair.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.